3 lands? Alright, we'll try it. This is Travis at Tpull's Corner, and we have been having a terrible time trying to find the right mana mix for this deck, because it's 5 colors. So I went to 62 cards and added in 2 extra lands. We've got Celestis to help us out, but we've got a lot of tapped lands, so it takes us a while to get going. So turn 3 and we still can't cast a single spell. And in some cases that's half the match. But my opponent, because I lost horribly last turn, my opponent missed a land drop. And that usually only happens when the arena has decided that I have lost way too many matches in a row. And it wants to give me a chance. So we can cast 2 different spells. Double strike. Forest Island Swamp, so we've got 3 already, so we can do Path to the Festival if we want. What are we missing? We've got black, we got blue, we got green, we need some red. You know what? Let's just do this first. Lose my shield token and he gets a card. But I still got 2 creatures. And as long as I got creatures, do I bother going to get the extra ramp? Well, I guess so, because I do want to be able to cast these other creature cards. Especially since I've got 3 of the 4 copies of Rogue's Gallery already. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it now. We'll give them a breather. Yeah, we'll take land the next turn too. And we will keep attacking, and maybe they'll chump block? I'm not sure if they realize the Fleetwood Dancer has trample, so they're only saving themselves 1 point of damage. Anyway, the idea was that I could lose a lot of creatures because I'm so used to going up against removal, and I won't have any problem getting them back. But what's happening in this round is I'm not losing any creatures at all, so I'm just stacking my hand with things I can never use. And we have haste and haste. And you're dead. Is that a 5-turn kill? That's a 5-turn kill when your opponent doesn't really put down that much. We'll try it again real quick. We've had tons of losses, and we had our 1 mandatory win to make up for it, so we don't quit the game and vow never to come back again. Let's see if we can get something that's like a realistic tough match. Something besides a one-side whomping for a change. Okay, we still have one of those. We should expect that maybe. It's possible I have 4 copies is too many to have in the deck, but that was the initial theme of the deck. The other theme of the deck is Meeting of the Five. I have 1 copy of it. It's the most expensive card in my deck, And it shows up in the first 7 cards way too often. Way too often for a 62 card deck for it to be an accident. And Rogue's Gallery copies show up really early. Way too often. Let's see. Island, swamp, or mountain. I think we'll take an island. Which means next will be a forest or a plains. Probably a plains. Heiser Flippin sounds like a fast playing name, but he's got blue, so he might start roping on, second turn. Discarding already. Yep, definitely want a plains. Because of the tap lands, we're always going to have a very slow start. So this cannot be considered a competitive deck. It is just for fun. We wanted the usual suspects and meeting of the 5. So that's what we did. And what can we do against that? Artifact, instant, or sorcery. Let's see what you got. Let's get rid of Banishing Slash. And with the Refractor out, he's not far from Elspeth. Okay, so we'll use all of our mana. Put out the Interceptor. And let's see. If we throw it away, it says if you connive this way, return up to 1 target spell to its owner's hand. I'm not sure I understand how that works right now. But we had too many copies of Rogue's Gallery already. But here's the clue as to how you play differently with this deck. You absolutely block every single time you can because you want to fill up your graveyard. You absolutely want to fill up your graveyard as often as you can. They take the damage. They can now bring down Elspeth. They bring down Perish instead. Ah, that's okay. And what do I have to choose from? I've only got 1 creature in the graveyard. Make that 2 creatures in the graveyard. I still need a different red or black mana source so I can cast all of my red and black spells. Finally, Elspeth comes down.
I'll light your way on these dark
I
streets.
saved her to last. Was this going to be first strike?
Show him what you got.
Flying. And you don't mind leaving Elspeth open. Yeah, because I can't really kill it anytime soon. Ah, there we go. That's why. Alright. Still not the black or white that I need. But let's go after Elspeth. Why are you quitting? What? What did I miss? What did I miss? You could have at least chump blocked and you still would have had an Elspeth. You could have added a 7th and I couldn't have done anything to it. And you could have created those white angel creature tokens and killed me. Maybe I've lost too many in a row that it just decided this is the way it's going to be. There are some cards that don't work well together. I'm thinking the 2 cards that I chose as my centerpiece are exactly those cards. And we'll show you why. I'll show you the deck. Frostfist Strider from Dominaria United. You can always freeze the video if I pass by those too fast and you want to take a look at the card if it's too new and unfamiliar to you. Alright, the usual suspects, because they did an homage to the movie with the way they did that card, with Rogue's Gallery. And we have Meaning of the 5. Exile top 10 cards of your library. You can cast spells with exactly 3 colors from among them this turn. You get to add 10 mana. You get to spend it only to cast spells with exactly 3 colors. So, we're basically, almost all of these are going to be New Capenna cards. Although we do have Solkanar the Tainted, who's from Dominaria United. But Rogue's Gallery and Meeting of the 5 might be diametrically opposed. You saw I already had extra ones of these, extra copies, early on, when you don't really need them at the beginning. And the most expensive card, which all too often Magic decides to give you on your very first opening 7 cards. So, if you're facing a deck that'll kill you in 5 turns, yeah, good luck with that expensive card. But, you know, I see people that beat me, and they have, like, 16 cards over here that cost 4, 5, and 6 mana, and they have no problems getting them out one after another. So, you know, different experiences on this here channel. Alright, here's what we got. Disenchant. We need at least one of those, right? Targets and enchantments. Anyone that's too good can eat our lunch. We have Eles El Cor, Sadistic Pilgrim. Death Touch, 2/2. We have Blood Tithe Harvester. We like the idea of having a blood token around to throw something in the graveyard, even a creature, just to get something that we can cast if we can't cast the creature. For the Rogue's Galleries, for each color, return up to 1 target creature of that color from your graveyard to your hand. So we could get, theoretically, a maximum of 5 creatures from the graveyard to our hand if we needed them later. We've got 1 Path of Peril for a board wipe. This is, hopefully we'd have enough of the black mana to cast it if we're getting swarmed with small creatures, or we get to 6 and destroy everything on the board if we're about to be overrun by anything other than small creatures. Ramp Card Path to the Festival. Search for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield. Then you get to scry. So we've got a lot of the dual lands from Dominaria United where they count as either one of the basic lands. They count as both of each basic land. And we've got a couple of these, we don't call them Triumphs, right? But New Capenna cards. Just a couple of those. I need to get more of those. I need to do more quick drafts. Okay, Nimble Larcenist. 2/1 Bird Rogue that flies. We can have them reveal the artifact, instant, or sorcery and exile the card from their hand. Rafine, Scheming Seer. Flying Ward 1. Whenever you attack, it connives X number of times, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Void Rend. Destroy target non-land permanent. Can't be countered. Maestro's Charm. Usually we're using it to deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, although we could look through our hand or make our opponent lose 3 life and we gain 3 life. Maestros Diabolist, one of my favorite cards whenever I'm playing blue, black, and red. Vampire War with Death Touch and Haste. Whenever he attacks, you get a Devil Token creature if you didn't already have it. Crew Captain, Haste, indestructible as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Riveteer's Charm. 3 different things you can do. I'm usually looking at the bottom one. Well, let's see. No, the top one usually. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest amount of value among creatures and planeswalkers. That'll get rid of their most expensive, powerful card. The other thing I usually do is exile target player's graveyard if they have anything they're going to get from the graveyard. That's more important than ever with the Brothers War expansion because there's so many unearthed cards. So this is a good one to have in your deck. Broker's Ascendancy at the beginning of your end step. +1 counter on all creatures Disciplined Duelist, a dual striker, is only 2/1, but he comes into battle with a shield counter. And Ishin, Two Heavens is 1. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And he is lovely to pair with Mr. Orfeo, the Boulder. Whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. That's just fun. Another Monodork there, that's Celestis. Another board wipe with Depopulate. And so that gives me some options maybe between Path of Peril and Depopulate, plus 2 drag to the bottoms, although this will kill my creatures too. I can get all 5 lands represented, so this will be a -6/-6 at the height of its power. Here's the one I have that's not 3 colors. Urtai Resurrected. He's a legendary human wizard. You could counter a spell or destroy a target creature planeswalker, so he's sort of in there as a removal card. Obscura Interceptor can put in with Flash, has lifelink, and when it enters it connives. Queza, Augur of Agonies. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Cormella Glamour Thief has haste, and you can spend mana only to cast instants and sorcery spells with that. So this is kind of cool if you have like Maestros Diabolist maybe. No, it has to be instants and sorceries only, right? Yeah, sorry. So I meant Maestro's Charm. You could cast that the turn that you cast her. We talked about Mr. Orfeo. We have Zerator's Envoy, which we could blitz in if we want. It's 5/4 with Trample. Whenever you deal combat damage to a player, you get to look at the top card of your library, and you can play a land from the top, or you can cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the damage dealt. So if they block you with a 1/1, you're only dealing 4 points of damage, so the card has to be 4 mana or less. If you get a free hit, that's 5. If you hit with Mr. Orfeo and you doubled Zerator's Envoy's power, that can be fun, because then you can look at the top card, and if it's 10 mana, yeah, basically means you can cast any spell in the entire deck. So that's a nice little combo if you can get those two together. We have Fleetfoot Dancer, Trample, Lifelink, and Haste. And Falcospera Pactweaver with Flying and Trample, and comes in with a shield counter on it. And you can look at the top card of your library anytime too. Solkanar the Tainted, we have all these options, but then the bottom one, if we've run through the other 3 choices, we exile Solkanar and return it to the battlefield under an opponent's control. So we may be looking to play one of our board wipes before we get to that point. We have 2 copies of the Kami War. This is our 5-color card. Get to exile target non-land permanent, and then we get to return another target one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then each opponent discards a card with Chapter 2. And then in Chapter 3, we get Okagachi Made Manifest, the Dragon Spirit you see to your left at 6/6. And finally, Meeting of the 5. Sorcery, exile the top 10 cards, and you get to cast spells with exactly 3 colors. So you're basically looking at casting 3 spells if you can get 3 3-color spells within those 10 cards. And we tried to maximize the ability. We didn't really duplicate a lot of the creatures. We did, 1-ofs on each of them. And we did like 1-ofs on each of these lands too. And I don't think I have a rune in there to destroy any lands. But we're going to try and see if we can play any of these cards. And when you do a very efficiently constructed deck, you can still run into big problems with the quick, fast decks running you over. And that's even if you make your land drops, right? With us, we've got 4 copies of card that we really need to have creatures in our graveyard already to use it at all. And then we've got a couple of expensive cards at the other end of the scale. And when you combine them, oh look, Meeting of the 5 again. 2nd time in a row in my opening hand. What a coincidence, Magic the Gathering Online. And we're up against 1 and 2 drops, of course. Oh, and we have one of the 4 Rogues Galleries already that is perfectly useless. Perfectly useless. It's just fun to see how often this happens. So probably I should have gone with one concept or the other. So ideally, Like, I could probably save this deck and take out all 4 copies of Rogue's Gallery and just put in 2 other cards. And I might be better off. Look, I can cast Rogue's Gallery, the one card that is useless to me right now. What a coinky dink. They're going to go search for cards because what you've got isn't enough. You can kill me in 3 turns. We'll see if I'm ever able to cast a single spell. Oh, I guess I will. We got rid of your cheap stuff. Bring on the rest. Still need a white mana source, and that's 4 of the cards out of the, well, 5 really. I need white for. And still no creatures in my graveyard to use that one. And they already got half the board filled up again. And wouldn't you know it, Disenchant's useless against anything right now anyway. Neither of those are enchantments. And I have dead cards. I can't cast a single one. And I'm dead in 2 turns again. And no chance to get 2 whites out for 2 white sources for depopulate. So I think that means the deck is not going to work. And sometimes that happens. So I'm going to split up the concepts. And I just wanted to show you that sometimes, and the reason I don't have the 50-50 win percentage, and why mine is decidedly under 50%, is because I do things like this where one concept is not enough for me. I've got to mash up 2 concepts and see if I can make them work. And increasingly what I seem to be doing is I come up with such weird ideas that I'm picking diametrically opposed ideas all the time. $99. And I'm not sure how to change the mana mix, because you see I have a forest and not a single green is needed for anything. And it's not like I have a lot of pure forest in my deck. I've got 1 or 2, and that's it. And I don't have land right now. 62 cards, 26 lands, 2 extra lands. It's still not enough. The good news is, if I get 1 more black source, I'll be able to use drag to the bottom. And if they don't have something that destroys artifacts, I can get Celestis out next turn. Notice even with Celestis, I still can't cast Maestro's Charm. Oh, Dreams of Steel and Oil. How about that? Artifact or creature card goes away. Oh, don't take my Celestis. Don't recognize it. That is the best thing to take away right now. Wow, they're taking a long time. Yep, they take away the Celestis. The single worst thing that they could have possibly done to me, they do. So thanks, Magic, for matching me up with somebody who does that. That's not just a non-creature card or something like that. That's specifically an artifact card. Get rid of the one they can pump up now. And they have total information on what's in my hand as well. Not that they really need it. They could just sit there wondering in mystery and in darkness, right? How come this guy doesn't play any of his cards? Now they know exactly why. No red mana sources. No double white, no double black. What are you doing to me? Excavation explosion? Alright, Jamir's Garden, that gives me red. Alright, what can we cast? Let's get rid of Depopulate. Or you should more accurately say, let's use Depopulate to get rid of the rest of the population. And they gave me a useless card because I don't have any creatures in the graveyard yet. Isn't that nice? We're getting there. We're getting there. Here. We're going to wait and see what you do to that card. 6 mana. If you got removal, you should be able to get rid of it. Destroy creature without flying. Let's use it. We will cast this card. Let's do the life thing. Oh look, we get to return a card. Let's bring that one back. The one we just used. It's awesome. I like the way that works. I may have to conduct an entire deck around that. Alright, we've survived all of their stuff. The cheap pumpable creatures. And now we can actually cast things. So the question is, will we live to do it? Or will our opponent scoop once he realizes what all I can do? Once you got enough mana, the deck is beautiful. It really is. We wait for them to scry. They only get to scry once, so they only get to see the top card of their deck. They decide they like it after a while. Alright, let's do this. We only have the one black mana source, so we couldn't do Rogue's Gallery at the same time. We still got severe limits here with our land. But we're not behind the enemy. We're about par with them. It's just our life is a little low. Ah. You're exiling my creatures? Oh, you little puke. Again? He's got Dreams of Steel and Oil and Rotten Reunion, exactly what he needs to get into my graveyard. Okay, he can't do that again, right? Shoot. What do I got left in there? Tavern Ruffian. That can turn into a 6/5. Alright, let's just use all our mana then. You can go away. Kind of like those potatoes. Shielded. And that defeats the purpose of Rogue's Gallery, which he doesn't know I have. Alright, before we draw, we'll just get rid of Shielded. Second chapter kicks in for the Kami War. That goes up and out of the way, and he has to discard Electric Revelation. Then we put down Disciplined Duelist, get a life, and hit him for 2. And now we kind of don't need to worry about Rogue's Gallery because we have the Kami War. So again, these might be two diametrically opposed ideas, even though they both encourage the idea of playing with all 5 colors. But really, if your Kami War stays out, and you can return online permanents, what do you need Rogue's Gallery for? Now we hold on to Urtai. Disciplined Duelist is a dual striker. He could discard this easy enough if it's not useful to him. Or he could just quit. Oh, you want to look at what's in my hand? I want to make you counter that spell. Here, go draw another card. We'll give you a bit of a chance here. That card wasn't really good to you. There you go, Demonic Bargain. Whew! What did they lose? Direct damage, more exiling, direct damage, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, double strike, lands, Diagraph Horn. Man, they use Rotten Reunion a lot. Technically, that's kind of devastating to my whole game plan here with Rogue's Gallery. In the meantime, they're searching through what's left of their deck for a 3-mana card that might be Artifact? Or 2 mana. Is there any 2 mana spell that can help you at this point? This kind of tells you why he has so many cards, why he had like 106, 105 cards. It's because he was willing to have a lot of cards that he was willing to exile just to get the one that he wants. That is the match. We're going to do one more while we're here. But I think in the future, you might see a version of this that just does the meaning of the 5 and the Kami War maybe, and we'll get rid of our usual suspects theme. And we'll go use that card somewhere else in a different deck. Look, meeting of the 5, opening hand. What a coincidence! I can't believe that happened. And another card that we can't use for a long time. The Rogue's Gallery appears in the opening hand as well. Again. Which kind of shows you we need a lot of help for things to break our way when we're dealing with this. Did that wrong. I should have put down Haunted Mire. Because Haunted Ridge can come out untapped. Ah, 2 copies of a legendary creature, so we can only have one of those out at one time. And the cheap white cards begin. Okay, so we've got everything we need, right, to start with? So Plains, Island, or Swamp? Plains. Do I be greedy? Or do I use Path of Peril now? Let's not be greedy. Because if they have another flyer, they could really run away with that. I could have kept it because I do have 6 mana, so one of them's white mana source. I could destroy everything in 2 turns. See, there's another cheap one they put out, but who knows if they had a more expensive one they could have put out instead. Another card I can't use because I got no creatures in my graveyard. You see this? This is why I'm thinking I shouldn't have both of these cards in my deck. I should do one or the other, because they're going to keep giving them to me. I can survive with getting just one useless card, but constantly getting 2 useless cards, let alone multiple copies, way too early in the match. It's kind of not ideal. Nothing to synergize Ishin's ability with. However, we do have Meeting of the Five coming up if we can get a couple more lands out. All flyer deck. Ugh. So I guess I should have held on to Path of Peril. And I probably shouldn't have attacked with Ishin in the first place. And my opponent takes forever. Okay, so we'll just wait here. We're actually outpacing our opponent on land right now, just by 1. But I imagine their cards in their hand are a little bit more useful than mine right now. I'm guessing. This is the pre-made deck. Do they even have an artifact or enchantment I can do anything against? Maybe not. Oh, they got the little combat trick. Only cost 1 mana, that's all they needed. Everything's still pretty cheap. 4 mana at most. I could use a depopulate or... They got counters upon counters. Homestead Courage is really being used a lot. Alright, we're there. What can we use? Let's use Falco. Let's use Orfeo. No, not Orfeo. Silkanar. And is that all we can spend the mana on? Yeah. So we got 2 cards out. And we'll do 3 damage to one of the flyers. And we lost our depopulate, right? And we lost one of the drag to the bottoms, so we're running out of board wipes. 8 mana spell, and we only managed to get 2 creatures out. I'm not sure if that was worth it. I feel like instead, if I'm going to keep the 3-color theme with Meeting of the 5, I'm throwing out 2 Rogues Galleries, and then the other 2 I'm replacing with Rant cards, or Mana Dorks. Another counter there. And another trainee. They'll probably want to kill Silkanar. Even though they could conceivably get Silkanar later. Yep. I still keep my shield counter because they didn't actually do any damage to Falco. All that stuff goes up there. For each color, return somebody. Get Ishkin down. I don't need to cast the land. And I can afford to block once with Falco because it's got a shield token. Why are you looking at my lands for? We just don't care about chump blocking, right? Do you have another mana trick? We're about to find out. Nope, they just want to put its counter somewhere. Alrighty. Then we're putting down this again. And we're done. And we're going to deal 3 damage again to another flyer. We chump block. They feel good about themselves. With all their counters on their little 2/1 flyer. And we do Rogues Gallery and bring it back. How about that, sports fans? Attack! In the turn, opponent loses 2 life, we gain 2 life. It almost feels like we've equalized. If only I didn't have an 8/7 flyer that I couldn't get rid of. Uh-oh. Another flyer. In a pre-made flyer deck. Imagine that! Ooh. Oh, not attacking with the Overseer. Wonder why not. Are they afraid of Solkanar? Interesting, interesting. Okay. What do we want to do? That's all we want to do. Draw a card. This could be fun. Oh, man. Well, that was interesting, at least. I guess I was somehow supposed to know I should ditch Falco's shield token and bring Rafine out straight away. Oh, wow. That's a nice reward. Rewards all over the place. Alright, so the usual suspects, we're going to probably change that. Because we're going to keep most of this intact. And this will just show you when I go from 2 concepts to 1, here's what we do. Okay, so Rogue's Gallery was not working in this deck. So that puts us down to 58. Let's go ahead and change this to Meeting of the 5. We'll make that the deck name. And then let's go ahead and add in 2 more Path to the Festivals so that we can get more land out faster. And that way, even if they keep giving us the Meeting of the 5 up front, we'll have more time to get more land out, and maybe we'll be able to use it and cast more than just 2 creatures next time. So that's the next one we're going to test, and for the other card, Rogue's Gallery, we'll create a whole different deck for that. How does that sound, sports fans? Alright, remember to like and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Have a good one. Thanks for coming.